welcome back to Ann Makes. I'm Ann, and today I have another craft room organization tip to share with you. I am going to show you how I store what is commonly referred to as ephemera, but I do consider it more like die cuts than actual ephemera, because anyway. But I want to show you, I have two drawer boxes here that I refer to as my ephemera, just to make it easy. So I have two in here. So I've been going through the process of tidying these up and making them more functional. So this is what they look like now. I have mostly my die cuts, and a lot of them are in little baggies. Some of them are still in the original packaging. And I've been tidying these two boxes up, and I'm just going to move the boxes onto my counter so we can move the camera to, and you could get a better view of the whole situation. So here we have the two boxes. They're side by side here. I want to show you that they may look quite messy, and they're not that messy. They are organized. Like I said, I have a lot of things in like Ziplocs, like this, which has worked for me for a couple years. And on this box here, I also have some sheets of scrapbook paper that I consider cutting up for the die cuts themselves. So that's why this is here on top, and this is just something to do at some other time. So in this box, this one I pared down a lot, and I'll show you what I did with a lot of the content that's in here. And these are here temporarily. Okay, so my goal is to probably empty one of these boxes. And yeah, that's my goal. Well, that's what I think I'm gonna, yeah. So I still have some die cuts in here. Again, I call this ephemera because I actually do have some ephemera in here. Now, I want to say to you, if you call your, let's say, your packages of die cuts like this, okay, because this is die cut cardstock ephemera, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But just because I'm supposed to be like very technical and knowledgeable in this area, just so you know, in case this comes up in some sort of pop quiz one day. The difference between ephemera and die cuts is that ephemera refers to actual pieces of old pieces of paper, basically. That's ephemera. So let me show you. Here we have some samples of actual ephemera. Like this here is an actual old picture postcard. What else can I show you? Here's a piece of negative, from the old days when we took we took pictures with camera and film. Here's a little piece of negative. Here is, trying to find something. Here's a little payroll record sheet of paper that came from a pad. Here's an old receipt. There's an old little kind of index card, probably used in a bank, let's say, or any financial area. Here's a very old used bingo card. Now this is true ephemera, because not only is this a piece of paper that is older, it's also been used. There's there's ink on here. Someone played bingo on this, and this, they probably just stuffed this in their pocket or their purse, and years later it ended up in my house. So that's what you call ephemera, something that's actually been used like in everyday life, and it doesn't have any value. It's just like your receipts, your daily receipts. Maybe if you get, let's say you went to, you got a message for, a message from your office, and, this was filled out. That would be ephemera. So here's an actual cigar band. It's a real cigar band. That's ephemera. So that's what ephemera means. But between you and me and the walls here, I put my die cuts, the ones I purchase and the ones I cut out, in the same area, and I call it all ephemera because that's basically how I will use this stuff, or how I do use this stuff. I like to find a lot of these die cuts that have a vintage feel to them, because to find actual old ephemera like this is not that easy. And I actually used to have a lot of it because I would keep everything, and it got destroyed in a flood. I lost all of that, so I started buying new ephemera to replace some of the old stuff I had. And let me tell you, the new stuff costs money. The old stuff was just stuff I collected. So yeah, so that's what I do, because I like little old pieces of paper. I like to think that this was part of someone's life. This may have a meaning, a personal meaning. This may remind me of a relative who was into smoking cigars or something, and it might have some meaning. It might not have any meaning to you, and you just like the texture and all that, and that's fine too. So my point is, I've been going through this to try to make some space in these drawers to make it a little bit more efficient. So in this box of ephemera, I also have things like tea bags and flashcards. So really, but to me, if I'm going to be art journaling or junk journaling, working in mixed media, and I want a little something, I will come in these boxes and look for that little something. So what I've been doing, let me move one of these boxes to the side. What I started doing was moving some of the ephemera out of my drawers here into this case. And this is a large photo and craft keeper. It is by Recollection. It is a Recollections brand, sold at Michael's. I purchased 2 of these almost a year ago during Black Friday sale when I was in the US, and I thought I had scored real big time on these, but they've been hanging around here in my studio all this time because I've been pondering and pondering the best way for me to use these cases, because I'm all about the best use of the space that I have, maximizing my storage. And I really overthink things. So, and I had to make a list too of what type of ephemera I have. Let me get that list. Trust me, there is a method to this madness of mine. It works for me. So I actually sat down with my 2 boxes on my desk and I looked through them and I thought, okay, what works for me? I have to have categories. So then I thought, well, I have what I call flat ephemera. This is flat. And then I thought, I also have what I refer to as bulky ephemera. So let me show you. I would consider this bulky ephemera. It's thick chipboard. So like this here, this box is full of, let's not open this one because it might fall out all over the place. Okay, this one for example. Now this is true ephemera. This is not something I bought. Well, I bought the product, but anyway. See, this to me is my a sewing ephemera box. As you can see, these are from seam binding rolls. Actual vintage seam binding rolls. I was fortunate enough to be gifted a box once of vintage seam binding, and a lot of them still had like these cardboards, and well, these ones had the cardboard. So I saved these because I thought, ooh, ephemera. And then here I basically have anything that came from some packaging. Again, we have seam binding. There's a lot of seam binding ones, as you can see. Seam binding. But also embroidery floss. These little things. I just really like the graphics. And I have some that are really, really vintage. And the labeling is so similar to the more modern ones. And here's another piece of vintage sewing ephemera. So, but this one's flat, but these I consider bulky. So I just put them all together in this box, and here we have a vintage silk mending thread. This, I can't tell you how old this is, but it's old. It's old, very, very old. So I put this in here because I consider this bulky. Okay, so that's bulky, and then let me show you another bulky box. Here I had this collection of, these were by Pebbles. These are old, glittery. They were in the package by color, and this was the chocolate cover. Yeah, chocolate color die cuts. You know, chipboard die cuts. So that is bulky. So I put those, I decided I would think of my ephemera as bulky and flat. Okay, so then I thought, well, what, I would either have flat or bulky. What other what categories would I have? So what themes, I should say, what themes would I have? So then I started thinking, well, I would probably have vintage, retro, modern. Now we're gonna say, well, what's the difference between vintage and retro? That's in my head. Vintage, I would think that is that would be pre-1900s, okay? So pre-20th century would be vintage. Retro would be, you know, between 1900s and 90 type of thing, or 2000, okay? So that would be like retro. Modern would be very current, anything that, just speaks of today. Like if I have a die cut of a cell phone, well, I would put that in modern. But I'm not sure that I will have 3 categories here. We'll see. And then I thought, well, I should have one for cute and one for other. And then I could also have one for people, sewing, crafts, which I've showed you, flowers and foliage, animals, and maybe I could divide that into pets, farm, and wild, and then one called things. So this was just to help me figure out how I would sort all my die cuts, ephemera pieces into my case. And like I said, I decided I would separate by bulky. I would start with the bulky in the cases, and if I use up the cases with just all the bulky, I will keep the flats in the original boxes. So that is what I have been doing. So putting bulky in these photo boxes and in this case. My bulky ephemera. Okay. So since I have still a lot to go through, I will basically pull out anything that's bulky. And what I think I will do is put all the bulky in one box and all the flat in the other box. And I will continue with my bulky box storage system in the photo cases. And then the other idea that I got would be to use these CD and DVD sleeves. I found these at Value Village one day. I bought these 3 packages. This one had 2 boxes in here for $1.99, and the other package was also $1.99, but it had the package of adhesive 3.5-inch diskette holders. Who remembers diskette? Oh my goodness. Remember dial-up? This brings me back to my old university days where we ran around with diskettes. Oh boy. So this is a 5-pack of the adhesive brand. It's brand new. I will be reusing these little adhesive pockets in something else. I already have an idea for that. So I will reuse that stuff. But when I saw these at Value Village, I knew I would find a use for this. I know people tend to tea dye these also for making junk journals. So that is the other possibility. Now I was also thinking, but I'm not sure I'm going to do this, that maybe I could take my flat ephemera and put it in these little envelopes and label them and stack them in the drawers. Or I'll just leave them in my plastic bags as I have them right now. So what I've done with these is basically I've taken apart the packaging. Let me show you. Like, for example, I find one that's still new. It's kind of bulky, like this one here. See how I still have it like this? Okay, well, basically, no, that's not a good example. Okay. Well, some packages of die cut come in packaged like this. Okay, these are brand new. I haven't used them yet. And they fit nicely in my drawer here, you know, for now. They fit nicely. But once I open them, the bag might tear, etc., etc. So what I do is I take the packaging, especially if it has all the pieces on it and it has all the information of which brand it is, which company, blah, blah, blah. I keep that. I stick it in the Ziploc, and then I put all the remaining pieces from that collection in the bag, just so they stay nice and neat. I don't lose any of them. After all, the original bag, like these bags, often when you open them, they tear, they don't last. So I just like to keep everything together in a little Ziploc. So what I'm thinking is that I will maybe continue with this system with baggies, or I will use these little envelopes I'm not sure which is going to work best because some of these packages have a lot and I think it would be too much for my little envelopes. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. But that's my thinking. That is my thinking. And yeah, so I just thought I would share that with you in case you're in the same spot as I am, that you've got all the stuff and you're wondering the best way to organize it. So yeah, right now, this is my system that I'm not sure I'm going to keep. Okay, but I do know that the bulky die cuts and bulky embellishments, our ephemera, is going to be moved into my photo cases. So that's it for now. You'll have to come back to see the rest of this, because otherwise if you're gonna watch me open all the packages and then fiddle around with them, that might be a little boring actually. So yeah, so maybe I'll film some of that and I'll insert it here. If not, the rest of it will be, the final product will be in another video. Well, hello everyone. I'm actually back with an update on my die cut storage and ephemera. I did manage to put all my bulky ephemera, die cut, journaling, art journaling kits that I had in here into the photo boxes that I showed you at the beginning. And what happened is that these CD and DVD sleeves that I thought were going to be my solution turned out to be too small for a lot of the die cuts I have. So I scratched that project, and then I went searching for some other pouches that I have used in other areas of my organizing in the craft room, and I had a lot of these 6x6 clear envelope pages, and I'll show you. It's going to be hard to show you what they look like, but this is what they look like. They come like this, and they have a flap that you can just fold over like that. So these actually are almost 6x6, so they fit perfectly in my drawer or box here. And I managed to put almost every die cut and piece of ephemera that I had in here, but that was taking up the whole space. Now in here there was also a lot of stuff that was useless that had to be thrown out, and there was stuff that belonged elsewhere actually. So this is pretty much what I am down to. So it just goes to show you that sometimes a little bit of reorganizing and tidying up or purging saves you a lot of space. So I'm using these little envelopes. These I had ordered on Amazon a couple of years ago for storing something, and the size said 6x6, but they're not a real 6x6. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but they do fit here. When they're folded, they are 6 inches in height. They seem to be they're 6 inches in height folded, but the width is just under 6 inches. Don't ask me exactly the measurements. Anyway, these I got from Amazon from a store called the Checkout Store. Now these I got on Amazon.ca in Canada, and I will place the link for the product in the description below the video. I have run out of pockets. I did do some extra. I have a few extra ones here, but I've ordered some more. So in case I find some more die cuts, ephemera pieces that I want to put in this box, I have some envelopes ready, and I've ordered more. And basically, they will be arriving. They should be arriving tomorrow. And I will put the link for the exact same pockets as this in the description. if you are interested in doing a similar type of storage as I am. Now, I do have a couple packages here of the dies that were too big for these little pouches that I have. I also had some larger size pouches left over. These I also got from the same store on Amazon. They're different sizes. And so that's what I did. I made pockets out of those clear pockets. So basically it starts out like this, fold it over. And what I do is I add a label to them. These are some sticky labels that I purchased at a dollar store probably. I can't remember which one. It's been a while. And I had used a lot of these on some files because that was the intention, to put on file folders. But I had a lot left over and I just kept them in my stash. And when I saw these again, I thought, well, you know what? This will be perfect. They'll all be the same color. It'll be just really easy reference for me to use these labels for this purpose. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I still have some left for when my new poly envelopes come in, and I will be able to label those ones as well. The other thing I did was I put little Velcro dots like these that we can buy at the dollar store. And I see here a variety. Some are from Dollarama, some are from Dollar Tree, some are from the craft section, and some are from the home hardware DIY aisle from the dollar stores. So yeah, I use those. They have a sticky back. They're super easy to apply and they work quite well actually. So I find this is a good way to keep my stuff from falling out if I take the stuff out, if I move it around. And here I show you how much I can put. Here I actually have two full packs of the Tim Holtz paper dolls. So they hold a lot of stuff. They could hold more stuff, but seriously, I don't want it to be too bulky. So that's really like the biggest pouch I have in here, really. Largest amount of stuff I have in one of these pouches. So yeah, so with these little poly envelopes, labels, Velcro dots, and of course, I label my little labels. Some are not labeled yet. I'm still going through that. And on the side here, I had some die cuts that were way too big, so I just put them in bigger poly envelopes. And I still have this big brick of die cuts to go through, but right now they're nice and neat, nice and organized, very neatly. There are a bunch of die cuts that came in a pack. I've had this. I've had this for over 15 years. It's called the scrap brick. Maybe not 15 years, maybe 12 years or so. And it's just, there's 3,000 pieces. There's alpha, circle, squares, tags, frames, and icons in a variety of sizes, colors, and patterns. And I had got this in a clearance store. And I had bought this on like a clearance or something, and I had paid only $10. And I just thought they were really, really fun. And I have used quite a bit of them. It doesn't show, actually. Looks like it's still full, but I have used several of these already over the years, but I still have a lot left. And they're still in the sheets. So I've had them like this for years, and it's worked out for me. Now I'm debating whether I should punch them all out and separate the flowers from the tags, from the letters. Put, maybe the letters with my letters, the tags with my tags, etc. So I'm not sure, but right now it's working as a divider. Although I did put in one of these dividers that you may remember seeing in my organizing of my bling drawer. These are cutting mats that you buy in the kitchen section at Dollar Tree. You get 2 of these for $1 or $1.25 in Canada, and I just cut them to size to fit in here. They just make a nice, neat divider. So I could technically make another row of these if I wanted to. So, but right now, this is fulfilling its purpose. I'm very happy with the system. I'm so happy with the space I've gained, and I love how tidy it is. And I hope that this is just inspiring for you as well. I hope that you found something here helpful for your own organizing. And yeah, let me know in the comments below how you organize, if you do organize your ephemera, die cuts, blah blah blah, because obviously any help would be useful. Right now, this is the system I have, and I'm currently tweaking it. So I hope you'll like this video. Hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Please like, comment, share, and thanks for watching. And until next time, stay crafty. Bye.